Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Jones. Chilling, sipping some wine over here. Oi, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Thank you very much to those who sent me comments, personal messages. I appreciate that. I wasn't even expecting that. I was like, what are these notifications? So thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you for your words of encouragement and some info. And I very much appreciate that. I'm glad to have gotten some subscribers. Please like and subscribe, and tell those that you can. I appreciate it. We're all in this together. If you lose, I lose. So we all need to have an understanding of what's going on, or else we lose. So the more people we gather, the more people who can get their heads out of the sand, the better we're going to be. So that's why we do videos. That's why you watch videos. This is a movement. This is alternative media. Alternative. Because the main media is ruined, corrupt. It sucks. I guess it's obsolete. If you're not given the information, well then, yeah, you're becoming more and more obsolete. And it's from what I've heard, their numbers are dropping. So this is a big thing. So hopefully it turns around soon. Now let's talk about something that I wanted to talk about right after my little break. I meant to do this like Tuesday, but got my days mixed up with the holidays and whatnot, so please excuse me. Everyone's been talking about this, so I'm late to the game. But I totally got my paperwork mixed up. I already had all this queued up and ready to go. The executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. Let's talk about that executive order. That was that came about in December 21st. I don't know if that's when it was signed in or if that's when it became active. Because as far as I know, when it was signed in, it became active, I think, the very next day, put into action. And the order declared a national emergency. Now things are serious because human trafficking is huge. And that comes from sex slaves, kids, and organs. All right. And how do you think they're extracting these organs? Yeah, you're not going in a hospital and getting your organs taken out. I mean, you're probably in a bathtub over ice if you're lucky. It's terrible. It can't be nothing nice. So things like that have happened to people. It's absolutely terrible. So yeah, that's a state of emergency, and it should have happened years, eons ago. This is nothing new. But the fact that we got someone who's not a politician and who's not a puppet is the reason why we're able to pull forward and have this happen. The FBI hides pedophilia, and we have other agencies that out of our 17 agencies that hide pedophilia and human trafficking. They are involved. Everything is classified. Other agencies can't even see what other agencies are doing. Our country gets money the wrong way, and they give it to the wrong people. So with that executive order, it stops that. It freezes, so the people involved, foundations involved, it freezes their assets, so, in their money, right? You get to someone's money, you got them. Banks can't do business with them. Assets are frozen, and anyone linked up to you is frozen. So imagine how big of a web or a domino effect, how it trickles down from the top, how big of a problem that is. Normal business in certain places won't operate. This is deeply woven. So, let's see how this plays out. But this is deeply woven. And mind you, so this has been signed or put in action around December 21st. I would like you to know that this piggybacks off the Magnitsky Act. I think it's worth saying this gentleman's name because this dude, I value life, so I think I'm going to mention his name. So Sergei Magnitsky, he was a Russian tax lawyer, uncovered the biggest tax fraud in Russian history, $230 million worth. Unfortunately, he was buried in Moscow, 2009, November 16, 2009. And so basically, he uncovered this huge tax fraud. And I do believe that was under Putin's rule. Things happened to Sergei Magnitsky. he was pretty much, if I'm correct, he was jailed. And when he was jailed, wrongfully jailed, and I think they roughed him up quite a bit. Not only did they rough him up a bit, but the way that he died was by 8 riot guards with rubber batons beating him to death. That's how he died. So this guy's a tax fraud. He's the biggest tax fraud lawyer. Well, Russian tax lawyer. Let's not call him a tax fraud lawyer, but a tax lawyer. And he uncovered this. And Sergei Meninsky was a very smart man. The things that people could do in a workday, you can multiply that with Sergei, because the guy was a very intelligent guy. And apparently he was a very honorable man, because he died. He died like not giving up certain information. I mean, a dude stuck to his guns. So listen, I gotta. Hey man, hats off to that guy. So the Meninsky Act was signed into law in 2012 by Obama. All right, holding human rights violators for account, freezing assets, and denying their right to travel. Now, Obama was able to do things like that to whomever he encountered. He could freeze your assets and say, "Well, you're going straight to jail," without a trial and all that. If I'm correct, all this falls under the Meninsky Act. I don't know if some other things are involved to make that happen, but those are things that he could do. So let's keep that in mind. But Trump right now is saying, hey, money's frozen. Anybody who does business with you, their money's frozen too. Banks can't do business with you. Your assets are frozen. You can't do business. So what you gonna do? You can't travel. Those people cannot travel. So what you gonna do? You can't travel. So I found that to be very, I mean, that's pleasing, because that means he's actually going after them. We have leeway. This is actually happening. The country is turning around, and it's still going to go through some rough patches, but it's turning around. And these people will retaliate. So you, as an American, all of us, we need to pay attention. Going to New York and Times Square and all that for New Year's and whatnot, please don't. And I hope nothing happens. But maybe don't go out into large crowds. And if you want to say, oh, but if we stay home, then they would have won. Listen, give it a couple of years, all right? Don't risk losing a leg or an arm or an eye. Over what? Being disfigured. Over what? Listen, you know what the time is. Stay home. That's all I'm saying. Hey, lay low, stay home, and enjoy your house, enjoy your peace. Enjoy your home, understand your home, and then go out of it. All right. But right now, don't do that. I don't think that's a good idea, and I hope nothing happens. I hope I'm wrong. But let's be truthful. Big, large, open spaces that where there's so much opportunity for something like that. Listen, right now we know things are in high alert. Let's cut that out. Cut that out. Cut it out. No need. Now, YouTube channels like Anti-School, very good channel, and James Munder, a very good channel. These people, they go on the internet and they show you what's going on. They'll screenshot, they'll have, live internet, they'll show you their screen, and they scroll through things and they get really detailed with things, and I like them. So that's Anti-School and James Munder. Now there's something that they went over, and I wanted to add to that. They mentioned that there's a lot of people who stepped down when Trump came into office, and not just into office, but they were making it seem like a lot of people this month stepped down, and a lot of people this month did step down. But some of the people on their list, some of them seem to have stepped down for honorable reasons, and some are still with the company. But it was a long list, and I wanted to also repeat their list, but as I had to make sure that these people did actually step down, right? So I had to do my research, and in my research, and I did this real quick. I had, there's so many people, but what I saw was, people stepped down for different reasons and in different times, not just December. So when it's, so early, I don't know if it was because they were under scrutiny or if they were going to get in trouble with something related to pedophilia or something gross like we were expecting. So the Google CEO, Eric Schmidt, he stepped down. He was probably involved with some stuff. Agreed. Tony Podesta from the Podesta Group. I got in the first one, the Google CEO, I got that from the New Yorker.com, and then Politico is the one with Tony Podesta stepping down from the Podesta Group. Of course, Yes, he's connected with gross things. You don't even have to ask. On USA Today, Papa John steps down. The CEO of Papa John's, which is John Schneider. So I don't know too much about that, but the fact that it's pizza, it doesn't look good. Because remember, pizza was code name for things. Comic ping pong, I know comic ping pong, and they're apparently involved with this Pizzagate, this whole thing, and saying the word cheese and sauce and all these little things meant something. It was a code name for ordering, ordering children or whatever you wanted to do with them or what have you. It was so things that you with pizza, I wouldn't even think twice about that. I just believe it almost off the bat. And the Uber CEO steps down. Um, and it was for personal matters, but I could understand the Uber CEO, if I'm correct, there was a time where they were tracking late night drives too. So if one Uber went to another Uber, like in a hotel at late night, they had like a wall of shame that they'd post up. And I've never seen it, but I heard about it. There was a wall of shame that they'd post. So it's people going out late, taking Ubers to meet each other, posted on the wall of shame. And maybe he's not connected to nothing stupid, but me knowing that, I'm looking at him like, yeah, what you do? Keep that in mind. The Sophie CEO, Sophie, the company, SOFI, CEO steps down. Sexual harassment. Another person, the 500 startup CEO, steps down. Dave McClure. I got that from Mercury News, but I really don't know who that is. I don't really have much information on him. We'll just let's move on with that one. The Kohl's CEO steps down, and it looks honest to me. Um, it's just that he wasn't doing as well as was expected. Fortune.com is where I got that from. Designer Alexander Wang steps down, and it looked honorable. And I think he's going to stay with the company. He just stepped down into a new position. He's allowing someone else to take the lead so they can do better. Anthem Health Insurance steps down. The CEO of them steps down, and it seemed honest. His name is Joseph Swedish, and I got that from The Hill. Looked honest. Madison Square Garden CEO steps down. David O'Connor's his name. I got that off of Bloomberg, and it looked honest. you know, Another Bloomberg one. Disney CEO steps down. Robert Iger, if I'm correct, and it looked honest. So some of those names that were mentioned to me, they look honest, but that was at a glance. In the I just saw I saw a couple of pages. I didn't go through all of them super intensely, but at a glance, it looks like some of these people were honest. So when we name all these names, it's nice to have like a date and time, and then if it were honest or not. And maybe all those weren't honest, and someone just needs to explain to me why they weren't. But I gotta look through my lens and say, well, this is what I see. Can you explain this? So that's me in addition to what they've got. And I think that some of these are honest, but I didn't do my research in them, so don't quote me on it. But I'm just showing you what I found and saw. So keep that in mind, please. Once again, for those of you commenting, thank you very much. I appreciate your words of encouragement. Please like and subscribe. I never really say that. Maybe I should start saying that. Oh, and remember, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere.